Welcome to the Bella Vista Gardening Program. I'm Geri Hoerner, and joining me today is Ginny Vance, who's a fellow Bella Vista Garden Club member, and she's a Benton County Master Gardener also. And today we're going to be talking about rain barrels, and we will also talk about upcoming events and what you need to do in your garden in May. It's a busy time this time of year. But first I want to thank our sponsors. The Benton County Master Gardeners and the Bella Vista Garden Club have just been so supportive over the years, and now they become director levels at the community TV station, and we really appreciate their support, and we just get a lot of help from them, so we appreciate them. And the upcoming events we're going to talk about, and one of them is the Benton County Master Gardener. It's our 9th annual plant sale and expo, and it's going to be held Friday, May 19th from 8 to 5, and Saturday, May 20th from 8 to 1. And so it's a 2-day sale that they have. And you've been involved in
Yes, I have.
Getting things planted and
Close
moved.
to 4,500 plants coming.
Oh my goodness.
Native plants and shrubs and trees.
And herbs.
Many
Do they have vegetables?
vegetables.
They have vegetables, herbs, and a lot of native plants, I think they have.
Right.
Okay. And they also have, the expo includes the all things garden, I think they call it. And it's like gently used tools and accessories. And I think we got a donation of a lot of equipment like lawnmowers and trimmers, and they're getting those cleaned up and making sure they're working properly. We're going to have a lot of equipment.
We also have some informational booths.
Oh, yeah. We have,
Master gardeners will be there to answer any questions that you have regarding your plants and vegetables. So be sure and come.
Yeah, it's going to be a great expo. So, and then the Bella Vista Garden Club, the big spring plant sale, is a little later this year. It will be held at the Village Wastewater plant as usual, off Highway 71, and it's going to be on Friday, June 2nd, from 8 to noon. Both days. Friday, June 2nd, and Saturday, June 3rd. So it's both days. And this year they're going to have perennials and trees and shrubs and iris and daylilies.
Something new this year, we're going to have houseplants.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to see how that goes.
We're going to have a greenhouse with houseplants in them. So if you need some houseplants to tend over the winter, just come on over and get some houseplants. And these sales are just great ways for these organizations to support their scholarships and their community projects. So they're just a great way to get good plants at good prices. If you've been to the nursery lately, the prices are just out of sight. Yeah. Have you been there and shopped?
I have not. I have not been to the nurseries yet. I still have to clean. My leaves are still in the ground.
Yeah, we're still cleaning up. So, but today we're going to talk about rain barrels. And if you don't have a rain barrel hooked up to your guttering system, you're missing out, because it's just like gold from heaven to get that water.
It's amazing what the rainwater will do compared to your own faucet water.
Oh, yeah. They don't have all the chemicals.
It doesn't compare, yeah.
Plants know the difference.
Yes,
they really
do.
And, water in Bella Vista is really expensive. We know that from our bills in the summer when we have to water so much. So this is a great way to supplement, and the plants love it. So, and collecting rain in the rain barrels and using drip irrigation is the best way to water.
Yeah.
So.
And try to collect it when you can.
Right. And then we do have a page on our Bella Vista Garden Club website. It's bellavistagardenclub.com. And we had a presentation in 2009, and I think we have a board there with some pictures on it. Anyway, if you would go to the Bella Vista Garden Club website and you just put in the search rain barrels, it'll give you this page where these pictures are. And Mark Bray at the time was the county agent, and he came and actually made a rain barrel there. And it tells you everything you need to have, all your tools that you need, and then it has The other one shows actually making the rain barrel, and of course there's sometimes it takes two people, you know, one to hold things and one to drill things, and so sometimes you'll need a little help. It may not be a one-person type organization or a project, but it's it just goes through all the I think there's like 5 pages. It goes through all those pages to show you how to make a rain barrel and what you need and what steps to take and when to do what. So it's a great little presentation about rain barrels and how to make one. And I made one years ago with the Extension Office. The Extension Office sometimes has workshops, and they make rain barrels, and I made one. And you have to be sure that you're using, if you use a used rain barrel, a plastic, make sure it's food grade and hasn't had chemicals in it.
I was able to last year probably get at least 5 rain barrels. They were the blue rain barrels, 55-gallon ones, and they're pretty easy to find in pretty reasonable cost.
Yeah, sometimes they're at the pawn shops, you know, and sometimes they're at the food processing plants and so forth. So, but you just have to be careful. You know, the ones I got when we did the workshop, it had vinegar in it, so I had to rinse it pretty well until that vinegar smell was gone. So, but just make it sure it's food grade, and you can usually spray it any color you want too. A lot of spray paints now with different colors. You can spray them, and you know, match your surroundings, or you can paint them and make them pretty. You know, paint flowers or rainbows or something like that. So. And then you can put, we have some pictures to show. You can put several rain barrels together, and because sometimes one rain barrel, you know, if it rains an inch or two, you're going to get a lot of water off that gutter.
I know, I've got 3, and one rain within a matter of 10 to 15 minutes will do all 3 up.
Yeah.
And then I have an overflow, and that's the key, is to try to get an overflow put into that, and then try to add as much as you can. But on my rain area there where it comes off of the back, those 3 rain barrels fill up in nothing flat.
Do you have it on your house?
I have it on my house, yes.
And I see, my rain barrels are attached to my sheds on the side. So they're only like 8 foot. One's an 8-foot gutter, and the other's a 12-foot. So it does take a little longer for them, but it doesn't take long. A 2-inch rain will fill them up, and I only just have 44-gallon.
Well, and the key is like you said, is when you do your own rain barrel like that, make sure you have the proper screen over the top of that, because a lot of the asphalt comes down from the ceilings or the roofs, and so that'll screen all of that out. So be sure and try to get the best water quality that you can.
Yeah, and then you want to make sure there's screening on top. So if you don't cover it, I use the large, tough trash cans.
Yes.
On my shed, and they're only 44-gallon, and they have lids. So if I don't use it, I put the lid on. But I always put in the dunks, the mosquito dunks, and this is a mosquito dunk. And you can get these at the box stores or online or whatever. Now for my rain barrels, 44 gallons, or even a 55, I think you only need a half a dunk at a time, because this is mainly for pools, and you don't have much surface space. So this is basically will take care of the mosquitoes in your rain barrels. If you have that real tight screening on the top, the mosquito can't get in and nest in there. So those you wouldn't need the dunks. But if it's an open top to your water, you need the dunks on there. So
something new that I got last year for my rain barrels was one of the pumps. A pump, you're able to put it into the rain barrel, and then that has, you're able to connect the hose to that, and I got pretty good water pressure out of that. I mean, for the water that comes out of that, I mean, it comes out pretty quick, because traditionally when you do the rain barrel, you've got the gravity fill that comes to the bottom, and it takes forever for sometimes
not a
for
lot
the
of
water to
pressure.
come out. So you're always taking your buckets and trying to fill for the water. So it's real key to, this pump that I used really worked very nice.
And
So
see, mine are open at the top, so I just dip the water out. So I don't usually pump, use a hose with mine. I just dip it out from the top. So it depends on your barrel.
depends
how
on
you
your
use
barrel
them.
and what you use it for.
Okay, and then if you want to buy a rain barrel already made, there's just hundreds of them out there online. You can find so many different rain barrels, and even at the stores or the nurseries, the box stores. And I think we've got some illustrations of the different types of rain barrels you can buy. There's a barrel shape, and so you see that faucet at the bottom, and the entry at the top, and then there's a barrel with flowers, and then there's a wood look. That's a pretty one.
That's a pretty one.
They can be pricey. They can be anywhere from $60 to several $100s. It depends. And then that's a stone look. That's a really attractive one. And then a terracotta. And then this is a low box style. That's attractive. So that's a cute one there. And then this one is interesting because it's portable. You can take it down and put it up if you don't want it all the time. And you can move it from place to place if you need to. So I didn't even know they had the portable ones, but this is the one you can move around. So, and then connecting it to your guttering system is fairly easy. I mean, you have to adjust your gutter, and you have to divert the water from your gutter. Now, this is the one I have on my rain barrel in my shed. That's an 8-foot gutter, and that goes into my my trash can. And I have a little netting on top, but I use the dunks because of the mosquitoes. And then the other one on my other side, that one is on another shed that's 12 foot. And that comes out with a little more force. So I had that gutter cut a little higher because it comes out with pretty much force. And that has the screening where I don't have to use the dunks. So you just have to cut your gutter and use your little curve piece to get it into your barrel.
And online, you're able to actually get one of I call it the gutter diverters.
Oh, yeah.
Where it actually comes down and it has a hose, just like
there's
that.
one
It
like
has a
that.
hose that connects back into the barrel, but then you still have drainage that comes through the bottom. So then that has a better overflow. So,
So if you don't have an overflow, that's the one to have.
yeah,
Because,
and this is the one I have right here.
yeah, because once it fills up, then it will stop going into your barrel.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of a safety thing, so you don't have it running over your barrel. So, but those are available at your box stores and online too. And then
And then they've got connections that you can connect between the barrels that you can buy online too. They're little black pieces that you connect from one to the barrel. So you put them at the top so the barrel fills up, and then it'll divert to the next one, and it'll fill up, and then it'll divert to the next one. And there's many people that have rain barrels that they put right underneath their decks.
right, we have one former member. I think she's got 10.
I was going to say she's got 10 rain barrels right underneath her deck, and you can barely even see it.
And I don't think she ever buys any water for her garden, and she's got a beautiful garden.
Yeah.
But she collects a lot of rain and uses it well.
If we get the rain, hopefully
If we
this
get
year
the
we
rain.
will.
Hopefully. But you
We
go
need
through
the-
those droughts, and it's
Yes.
tough. We always have the droughts. And then if you have to remember, if you're going to try to use your hose on the bottom connection of that rain barrel, you need to elevate it. So there's some stands. You can put it on concrete block or something like that, a little stand to give it a little bit more pressure to come down, and then the water will come out a little easier with the compression. So, and that's one with a matching stand. Looks like they have a couple different different hoses that come out of there. So anyway, those are the pictures we have, and kind of give you an idea of what's available out there, and what you'll need to make a choice of. It's up to you what you
Yep.
choose. And then there's all kinds of supplies you can buy. Sometimes you'll find a complete kit you can buy online. It tells you, it's got the hose and it's got the faucet, it's got the connections and the nuts and the bolts and everything.
And there's many YouTube videos out there also
yeah.
of how to make different rain barrels and the configurations that you can do. So if you're wanting to conserve that rain for your flowers, look for a rain barrel.
Yeah, a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
What did we do without YouTube? That's what I want
I don't know.
We struggled a lot of times. But anyway. And then for the winter, you have to remember to empty your rain barrels. I didn't think mine would freeze, but the year that we got down to 17 below, my rain barrel cracked. One of my rain barrels cracked because it did freeze. I think the whole thing froze.
Oh, geez.
So, and that hardly ever happens. We don't have that cold of a winter, but so now I drain all my rain barrels,
Yes.
and I either lay them on their side so they don't collect any water at all, or I put them
I haven't
inside.
checked mine yet, so hopefully
Yeah.
mine didn't break.
Yeah,
Like I said, I emptied them, but
So I either turn them upside down or lay them on their side.
yeah.
And then too, like a lot of those barrels are blue or white. It's best really to paint them, make them disappear into your landscape, so they don't just stand out like a sore thumb.
Yes.
So, it's good to get them painted to match your surroundings.
Be creative with
So
the painting.
yeah, you can be. Well, and then I think there's some wraps you can get too, with flowers and scenes. You can get wraps to put on them. So there's just a lot of varieties, but the main thing is to collect that water for your plants because they'll love it. They'll just love it. I use a lot of containers.
Yep.
Because the containers, are just so concentrated, and when you put that city water on there, they just don't like all those chemicals.
No.
They don't bloom as well. So anyway, that's what you have to do for rain barrels. And then for the things we have to do in May. May is a busy, busy time because we're just getting out of that, getting leaves out of the beds and mulching and weeding. A lot of weeds this year.
Right now, we just need to have the wind to die down.
Yes. Oh, we've had terrible winds
The
this
winds
year.
these last week has been horrible.
And you try to get the leaves out, and they're just blowing everywhere. It's a losing battle.
Yes.
So, and then the bedding plants are out there in the stores, and if you've bought them last month when they came out and planted them, you'll be planting them again.
Yes.
Because we had some cold nights. I think we've had nights
40 degree.
40.
Yeah,
And
and
most of
38.
your annuals will like at least 50 degrees.
Yes.
Especially your tender annuals. They like it to be at least 50 at night, not colder. And then I use those polymers. There's little polymer beads you can buy to put in your containers, and it just helps conserve the water for your plants. So look for those in the box stores and the nurseries. So.
And the key is getting the good soil, the good potting soil
yeah.
for your
With
annuals
good
when you're doing your
drainage.
containers.
Yeah, and feeding. You
And
have
feeding
to
'em,
feed
yeah.
your annuals.
Yeah, fertilize every week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost every week. Yeah, and herbs.
Anyway, the
We're
herbs.
starting.
Here again, the temperatures is the key. If you're growing your herbs, you can plant your basil at this point in time. Other than that, the majority of all of them at this present time that are out there, they're very sensitive to the temperatures. So you need to wait a little bit yet.
Yeah.
Most herbs need full sun. So just be tolerant of that.
And some can take some partial shade,
Yeah.
in the afternoon. But and then the bulbs, be sure leave your greenery on your bulbs for at least 6 to 8 weeks after they've stopped blooming, because that feeds that bulb for that bloom next year. If you cut your greenery off right after it blooms, it's not going to bloom next year because that's going to feed your bulb and get that nutrition down there for a new flower next year. So you have to leave those leaves on, and don't braid them or twist them. Just let them die back.
Right.
You
Of course,
just
the
have to-
iris bulbs, the irises are
They're blooming.
Blooming right now.
Really
Beautiful.
nice this year.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Blooms
They must
this
have
year.
liked that cold weather.
I think that they have.
Because
they're
they're
just
beautiful
doing very
this
well.
year. Yeah. And now you can plant your caladiums, your cannas, and your elephant ears. You can start doing that now that it's warmer at night. So.
And the perennials, it's time to start looking at your perennials and seeing what can be divided. I know I've got some hostas that need to be divided, and but look over your plants and finish trying to plant those. And the key is, try to label. You forget where you plant. You forget where you plant, and you need to label. Things come up, and you go, what is that?
Forget.
I think I planted that last year, but I don't
you-
remember what it was.
Somebody asked you, what kind of hosta is it?
I don't know. I don't know.
I forgot.
I forgot.
Yeah. So it's good to label your
Try to
plants,
label
too.
your plants, yes. Or keep a catalog. So many people keep a catalog of what they've got, keep their labels, and then, but then some people actually have an actual journal, which is fantastic. Even annuals, a journal of all the plants that they've got in their garden, the ones that were successful and the ones that have failed.
Yeah, it's a good source to go back to it.
Yeah.
Not make the same mistake twice.
Yes.
So that's good.
Journal your plants and label them.
Yes. And then lawns, this is a period when they're really going to be growing. And so the lawns need at least an inch of water a week. And the Bermuda, you need a second pre-emergent because the weeds are terrible this year.
They're horrible.
They're really bad.
Yeah.
And but you be sure you do your crabgrass control and everything between May 15th and June 15th. That's the best time. And then fertilize your fescue only if they need it. You might do a soil test on your fescue because sometimes we just overfeed some of the fescue lawns. They don't need all that nitrogen. So just so they get an inch of water a week. That's the main thing. And then
the roses.
Yeah.
Should we talk about roses? Roses can be
slow this year.
They're very slow this year, but you can prune them. Prune your dead wood off and check around the plant for the aphids and any fungus. I've kept my leaves around the bottom still, but here again, new shoots are coming up.
Yeah.
But look for those aphids and try to spray them. But you're able to, like I said, look through the shrub and cut off any of the dead wood, and then you'll get new growth from that. And fertilize.
Yeah,
Fertilize
fertilizer
at this
like every
present
month,
point in time, and water deep.
Yeah. And the climbers, you don't trim the climbers till they bloom for the first time. So don't trim your climbers until
I
they
apologize,
first bloom. So, but they need an inch of water a week too, just like the grass. So, and then the trees and shrubs, you have to prune out that dead stuff. We had a terrible winter, and a lot of shrubs have died, or almost died to the ground, and they're coming back up just a little green at the bottom. So you'll either have to make a decision to take that shrub out and replace it, or just let it start from scratch again, and it's up to you. Some people like that instant gratification, have everything big and full, and it's going to be a while for some of these shrubs to ever come back. It may take a couple years.
My holly shrubs are looking horrible, and my crepe myrtles both.
Yeah, and
not
just
looking
have to,
really good.
We're trimming a lot later this year to get the bad stuff off. So, and then you see these little green leaves coming out. They're so tiny, but you see some life in these shrubs, and you just have to be patient this year.
I lost several hydrangeas.
Yeah, I did.
The hydrangeas that I have are not looking good.
Yeah, so we're going to have to be taking some trips to the nurseries, and that's where the plant sales come in so handy, because you can get new plants from the plant sales, so at a reasonable price. So, and then you have to feed your rhododendrons and your azaleas after they bloom. They need a good feeding for next time. And deadhead your lilacs. They bloomed. They're starting to bloom, and I think a few of mine are still blooming a little bit.
Mine are too.
Yeah. So.
My reblooming lilac is doing beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they like the cold weather.
They do.
Yeah. So.
Vegetables. You can plant bush and pole beans, lima beans and cucumbers, lettuce, eggplants and peppers. The tomatoes are a little bit early, I think, to put in the ground yet. I think people are wanting to, but I'd wait a
Yeah.
little bit. Needs to be 55 degrees, better at
Yeah.
night.
If you plant them, they'll just sit there. They won't grow.
Yeah, they won't grow.
So it's best to wait.
And water is needed, and don't forget to fertilize those.
Yeah. And you got to remember to plant your tomatoes deep.
Yes.
If you plant it this deep, right where the soil line is, you'll get that many roots. If you take off some of those leaves going up the stem and you plant it that deep, you're going to have roots coming out of that whole stem. So you're going to have a better root system. So plant your tomatoes deep.
And you'll have better produce.
And better produce
Yep.
because you have so many more roots. It's be a stronger plant. So anyway, for more gardening information, you can go to the Master Gardener website. That's www.bentoncountygardening.org. It's not the normal, name of a website, so that's their website. And for more information, you can go to the Bella Vista Garden Club website. Now that's bellavistagardenclub.com, so it's pretty easy to remember. And we've got so much information on there about gardening and about the club. And if you're interested in coming and joining, all the information's there. There's even an application you can download and send in. So that's all on the Garden Club website. And that was an award-winning website. We got an award for that several years ago. And then our meetings for the Garden Club have ended for the year until September. We don't meet in the summertime, so we just have a luncheon and the plant sales and that. So we'll start again in September with our meetings, but we're kind of active still over the summer. And if you'd care to join, we still have activities we do, projects we keep up with. And then the Master Gardeners meet year-round except January, and they meet the first Tuesday evening at 5:30 for social and 6 o'clock for the meeting. And they have a program. They had a really good program this past month about pumpkins, growing pumpkins. And they do have a meeting every month except January, like I said, and guests are always welcome. We always have a good program with interesting information, and you can get a lot of information from the Master Gardeners that are there. So be sure and try to make one of those meetings. Oh, they meet at the Church of Christ Church, and it's right across from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
In Bentonville.
So, in Bentonville, and we meet in the lodge. And we have a little social gathering at the beginning with some food and snacks. So it's just a good social time and a good meeting. So
Well, and excellent speakers.
always
Good
You're always
speakers.
learning.
Both
that's the
clubs
thing.
have great speakers. You learn so much.
Every day you learn.
Yeah.
You never stop learning. So, well, thank you, Ginny, for joining me today and sharing your information about rain barrels.
You're
I know
welcome.
We love our rain barrels. We love the rain. So I hope you've enjoyed the program, and we'll tune in next month. And until then, don't forget to stop and smell the roses.